Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another online forum for Yacht Femme. This is our third online forum for 2025. Today, we will be celebrating International Women's Day by listening to influential female voices on entrepreneurship, leadership, and professional growth. The discussions will cover essential topics such as starting a business brand building, leading teams, and fostering strong networks. Here's a quick overview of today's sessions. For our first session, we will have Starting a Business Alone with Mariagenal Oliveri and Susanna Corsagni, moderated by Liz Schmidt. Then Marketing and Building Your Brand with Ione Astondoa and Sawaya, moderated by Dilan, Sarac. Following with Unpacking Leadership with Kristina Hebert, Megan Legasse, and Nada Serafini, moderated by Barrett, Wright. And finishing with Building Your Network and Work-Life Balance with Alice Caslini, Carmen Lau, and Elisa Vagnetti, moderated by Sophie Spignam. We welcome your comments and questions on whatever platform you're tuning in from, and we'll do our best to address them during the forum. Now, let's begin. And kicking off the forum, we will start with Starting a Business Alone. We will explore the journey of independent entrepreneurship, hear inspiring stories from women who conquered fear and took bold risks, gain strategies to boost self-reliance, build resilience in new markets, and create supportive networks and empower courageous decisions. To moderate this session, we have Liz Schmidt. She is the Director of Shipyard Supply USA and the Executive Director of the Women Offshore Foundation. She has over 15 years of experience in the nonprofit and maritime industries. Liz excels in nonprofit operations, programming, fundraising, and strategic planning. Hi, Liz.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on today. First, what I'd like to start off is I'd love to give you guys both a moment to introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about your business. That's so important, of course, is that we all want to make sure what you guys do, and then we'll jump right into our questions.
Susanna, you want to go first?
Okay. So my experience is in a shipyard. I've been, growing my career in a shipyard as a project manager, coordinator, contract manager, and refit and warranty manager. And after 30 years in that shipyard, I started my business alone, let's say. So now I founded in 2022 C-Motion. And this company focus is a tailor-made service to our clients and to the clients that would like to build, refit, or manage their yachts in a different way, let's say.
That's great. Absolutely.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mariagenal. Everyone calls me Mari. I'm surrounded by pillowcases because I'm currently in our showroom in Tuscany. What we do is supply linens, bespoke and completely custom-made linens to yachting, the private jet, and the residential world. I come from a background of interior, working for furniture, high-end companies in Asia. And my company has been my thesis at business school, so somehow it's always been with me. And we manufacture everything in Tuscany, and I'm personally based in London, so I'm a kind of a traveler nonstop.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love that we have the kind of the two perspectives of both interior work as well as exterior being in the shipyard. So let's jump right into some of our questions today. So the first question today is, building a career, building a company, right? We always kind of look back at these pivotal moments. So can you share a pivotal moment of when you overcame your fear and significant risk in your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah. So I still was working in Perini Navi, and I found myself in a conversation with the CFO of an owner's team while their yacht was under launch. And so by joking, they said that they found it very difficult to find a replacement of their, let's say, manager of the fleet, because they had 2 yachts. And they said because this guy was a little old and they needed to replace, the place. So at that point, by joke, let's say, but I just took that opportunity now, and I said, what about me? And because at that time, I said, that's the time, and something clicked in me. And this was what I said. And they took it as a proposal, let's say, while I was joking at that time. But that really changed my whole life. Because I left the company, I left Perini Navi, that still is in my heart. And I started this business, which is, let's say, I'm working in a man environment, but I'm learning a lot from my other competitors, and I'm happy of what I did, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's just kind of standing up for yourself, right? Or saying, wait, I could do this, and maybe I could do this a little better, and kind of taking that risk, right? And being bold in that moment. And I think so many women can learn from that. And you mentioned something that I think is also really important, is women they love their company sometimes, but they maybe will have more to give if they can venture out on their own. And so it doesn't mean that you can't still have great admiration for that company you're leaving, and learn from those experiences and turn those people into maybe some mentors or mentees. But that's really great. So what advice would you guys give to someone who's hesitant about taking this first big entrepreneurial risk? It is very scary. So what's your advice from your experience?
I would share the same advice I got when I started the company. And the advice came from one of the biggest entrepreneurs in Italy. And he has been a kind of mentor for me. And he said to me, he's been the third person I told I was going to build a company. First was my mother, the second my father, and the third was this man, who said to me, never give up is the only advice that really matters. Never give up, even when you're in the deepest down and when everything is going bad, is going wrong, and you feel like it's not happening, it's not. And the first year, to be honest, in any company will be a struggle, because you have to find the good pair of shoes for your feet somehow. Even though you are come like me from a business school, so you're very well trained to create business plans or financial projections and so on, still you're going to face reality, and reality is not what you put on a paper, and your plan is completely different. So you're going to have to be extremely adaptive. This is another piece of advice: being adaptive to the market, adaptive to the people you meet and you learn from, adapting to the change of conditions in the economic situations around you. So being open, being adaptive, and never, ever, ever give up.
And the growth happens outside your comfort zone.
Yes, totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's sometimes really hard to see when you're in it, how far down or how difficult, but absolutely never give up. Susanna, do you have some advice for those women looking to take that first step?
Yeah, you have to trust yourself, first of all, but you have to work hard. And you have to take the risk, because it's never safe. This is not something that it's safe as being an employee. And but if you have the skills, you have the experience, and you feel that you have the knowledge, you have to take the leap. You have to go ahead, and especially surround yourself with the right people, and try to seek mentors, and like Mariangela said, you have to have the ability to adapt to changes, because this is very important. But as I said before, you have to go ahead.
Yeah.
Fear needs to stay behind you, because otherwise you never start.
Yeah, absolutely. And that a little bit leads into my next question about having to kind of be losing that fear, but being by yourself. And that would be talking about habits and practices. And so once you leave a company or you leave having to have a boss, right, and you're working for yourself, you have to make some of those independent decisions. So what habits or practices have helped you maintain independence in your decision making?
Go.
No, please go.
I always say that I listen to many, but I trust only myself, which means that by nature, I'm very curious, and I talk to even to the walls, and they make fun of me. I really talk to everyone. I'm very curious about the story of everyone. So somehow those pieces of information from the people I meet in the world, like they come inside me, and they're there. Not necessarily I take advices from others, but in a way they're still advising me with the sharing of their information. And so in the end, I trust myself, I trust my gut feeling more than my reasoning. And it may sound weird, but yes, even on financial decision, I trust my gut feeling more than my reasoning, because it never let me down, because it's the combination of those things that you cannot rationally put together, but somehow are part of your experience in your life.
Yeah.
Of course, after 20 years working, your gut feeling are more trustworthy than at 25 years old starting something. But yeah, trusting yourself, as Susanna said, is a super key, and trusting that your reasons are not completely, may not be completely clear to yourself why you're doing that, but trust yourself in doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is so important. I love that you bring up that gut feeling, because I think women, we sometimes are so quick to just dismiss that and try to look at it from other angles. And I know for me personally, I've gone into things and not trusted my gut. And I'm sure you have too. And then you look back and you're like, oh, if I would have just something was telling me inside, it would have been better. So that's absolutely some great advice that everyone should be taking in all walks. So how has being independent shaped your approach to leadership and growth?
Being independent shaped my leadership by making me, self-reliant, let's say. And I had also to trust my instinct, and I could do it, because before, sometimes when you are in a company where you have a boss, you cannot do that. This is the difference. And then the other thing that I really like of being independent is that whoever can cooperate with me, I can try to empower the others to take the same initiative, and fostering a culture of autonomy and growth. And this is something that I really trust. And I sometimes, in my background and in my history in the shipbuilding, I've not met the same way of learning, because and this is something that I really like as being an independent. And of course, you have to have always you have to meet always new challenges. This is the other thing, and try to see always a chance in cooperation and with others. And you can also complete your lacks. If you have any lacks in your field, you can always cooperate with people that can learn you something, because you are always learning from others. This is something that you can do more when you are independent than before.
Yeah, that creative thinking, being able to collaborate with people maybe you wouldn't normally have collaborated with or anything like that. So that absolutely. I think it's also important to know that we're always growing, right? We always need to grow, especially when we're working for ourselves in an entrepreneurial space. If we're not growing, our business isn't growing, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Can you describe a time when you successfully entered a new or unfamiliar market?
The moment I started believing, like my company, I started in a very let's say, unusual way, meaning that I spent over a year, 1.5 years studying the industry like if I never knew anything. And imagine that I grew up in a family with this background, and my business thesis at university, the business school, was my own company. So somehow you may think you know, and my approach was to think I knew nothing. So what I did, I went to all the shows worldwide for over a year, uh, trying to see what was not there, which is the most difficult exercise you can do. I have this notebook, which I will keep forever, of course, where I have where there is my exercise to try to see what was not there. Because my idea was that to build a successful company, you have to have a business proposition which is different from what is already there.
Yep.
And this is where Oliveri started with a sustainable footprint 12 years ago, when everyone was telling me that I was crazy and that there was no need for this and it was unnecessary and so on. And still now we are the only one with the sustainable certifications and with our approach, a full green approach to the business. So entering or having a success in the market, I think, in whatever we decide to do, is really investing ourselves in knowing and understanding and being humble. Because when you believe you know already what you're doing and you are not open to learning, that's where you close the door to a growth and so to success.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And finding that niche or finding that missed piece in the market is so important. If people are looking at how they want to start a business, that advice is amazing, is look and see what's not out there. And you'll be hopefully successful.
Let me add another thing, Liz, which I believe for me it was life-changing in terms of my career, and I really advise everyone to read it. It's a very interesting book which is called Blue Ocean Strategy, which is studied in the business schools now. It's super easy to read, but it really makes you look at the perspective of how to build a business, a successful business, with a different perspective in a very smart way. So please read it, guys. It's very interesting.
That's great. Blue Ocean Strategy. That's great. So we just have a little bit of time left. So we have 2 more questions. And so one is going into that uncharted area. And so what tools or resources have been most helpful in guiding you through an uncharted business challenges?
Let's say that, in my field, I still have to go through this, because in my field we have been always trying to be in markets where the business of yachting is growing. And this was my first time this year that I supported the Gulf Yacht Summit in Dubai, where I had the opportunity to see a different market, which is this area. And I was let's say really surprised, and I hope I could be able to have new partnership and cooperation with this market, which is still growing, and it's a market that is eager to cooperate with Europe, I have to say, because I met entrepreneurs there that really are curious of the way we build, we refit, we manage yachting. And I found let's say a curiosity and a way of approaching our knowledge, which was really appreciable from me. It was completely different from what I expect, I have to say. So this is why I will go back.
Yeah, Absolutely. And that is definitely the uncharted yachting area as of right now, right? So definitely take those leaps and check out those new areas, because I think there's lots of opportunity. I know my business, we've started doing some work in Turkey, and that's a new area as well that I would encourage people to look into internationally if you're in the US. So the last question, we just have just about a minute. But I think this is so important because we're here for networking, and so I want to hear from you guys. How have supported networks contributed to your success as an entrepreneur?
Significantly, but I believe that to make a network success as a successful element of your business, you need to really bring quality to the table. What I mean is like going to events where you think you will have a good networking surrounding, and you think you're going there to get something and not to bring something. That's a very poor approach, and that will not give you anything in reality, because I believe that if you bring your real self to those events, meaning not mask, not trying to be who you're not, just being who you are. And if who you are is you really bring quality to that conversation, that the network is going to be a quality network that will bring results to your business as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
In my field, instead, network is very important. Is one of the most important, trust. And I have to say that also on word of mouth from clients, it's very important in my field, because it's there is a lot of competition. But what I think is that, because we are also surveyor, we are nautical surveyor, we manage refits and new build. So what I think is that the competitors in the network are very important, because what I think is that you cannot compete with your competitors. Your competitors for you are the way to cooperate, to make partnerships, and especially to learn from each other, because we are not all the same. I'm cooperating with many competitors in different way, in different technical aspects of the yacht. And I think that success isn't about what the competitors do, but is to create your niche of your work niche, and provide an exceptional value the way you serve your clients. So this is how it should work, and you can learn a lot from your competitors.
Absolutely. That is so important, right? Don't just shut them out, but see how you can work together. Well, thank you guys so much. This was so interesting to hear your two perspectives and how you got to where you are. And I will turn it over to Andrea to wrap us up and get us on to our next topic.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Those are very valuable insights. I know everyone will be learning a lot from you all. Thank you. And we're going to take that 2-minute break, and we'll be back with our next session. Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Tagliaferro, founder of Yacht Femme, and I'm thrilled to join the ambassadors for World Boating Day, representing the West Coast of the U.S. The West Coast has so many wonderful events and passionate people, yet we've been isolated from the global scene. I am excited to bring us together under this international umbrella of World Boating Day, so we can shine a light on companies and individuals that work so hard to connect us to the ocean. Mark your calendars for May 24th, and if you would like to get involved, just reach out. You can find me on Yacht Dame, Yacht Femme, or directly DM World Boating Day. And I just can't wait to connect. Hi everyone. So I am back. Second. So we're ready for our second session, which is marketing and building your brand. This session will help you define your brand identity by communicating core values and unique selling points. Learn to craft an emotional narrative, leverage social media for greater reach, and balance consistency and adaptability to stay relevant in your changing market. To moderate this session, we'll be joined by Dilan Sarac, the Executive Director at the Super Yacht Life Foundation, leading global campaigns with top industry leaders. She drives strategic communication, growth marketing, and brand storytelling to elevate the super yacht industry's narrative. Welcome, Dilan.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second session. I'm honored to be your moderator today and thrilled to be here with two incredibly successful and visionary women. They're joining me right now. And it feels even more special to be having this conversation just days before International Women's Day. I want to take a moment to celebrate all of you and the incredible contributions women make to our industry.
I would like to introduce our lovely visionary two speakers of today with you. First speaker of the session is Ione Astondoa. She is the Chief Operating Officer at Astondoa, a renewed Spanish shipyard with over a century of history. As a fourth-generation member of Astondoa family, she oversees marketing, human resources, and cost management. And she is the first woman to join the yard's board, and marking a significant milestone in an industry traditionally dominated by men. And our second speaker is Sawaya, the first brand ambassador for Yamaha boats and Wave Runner, and 3x world record spearfisher, and a state advisor at the residence at Pier 66.
Yeah, this session is about like marketing and building your brand, which is my personal favorite. And I would like to start with
Ione, what role does customer feedback play in shaping your brand identity? Can you explain it a little bit for us?
Okay, so brand recognition in a company like ours, and again, I must refer to our centennial history, is built with many layers of experiences with customers who have remained loyal over the time, and with a loyalty that really excites us. At Astondoa, the customer feedback and involvement has always been considered as part of our creative process. For example, we have a quote that we always say that there is no Astondoa alike because there is no two customers alike. And that means that for us, it's beyond important that our customers feel that they are part of the process, that they are involved in the construction of their dream, and they are able to decide and customize the boat in many parts, from the interiors up to the distribution of the boat itself, and make they feel this is a beautiful journey to live together. And of course, the feedback is very, very important. At the end of the day, they are living the boat day by day. They know what they need. They know what is more practical, what it's needed in a daily basis, and we are always willing to improve and to hear them and to accept their advices. So it's, yeah, the customer feedback for us is very, very important, as we grow up together and we always or often build a relationship that goes beyond professional context with them.
Summer, like how do you identify and communicate your brand's core values effectively? What are your ways to do this?
So this is the root of the brand, right? This is the most important thing you can do when you're starting your brand or your personal brand or even growing it. First, you really need to reflect on what your brand stands for. What are your values? What message do you want to get across to your audience? This is really, I guess, personal to every brand, but for me, it's really been, women in sports, driving the passion through creativity, sharing experiences just in and out of the water for me. But I think for every brand, what's the most important is really getting down to what values you want to portray, how you want people to see your brand, and then what your target audience is. So obviously, if your niche is in the boating and fishing, spearfishing world, you want to really speak to that audience and make sure that they, understand your brand and your values. So once you kind of create, the importance of your values and then target audience, that's when you can really start growing. So what you want to do is make sure that how you're speaking to your brand is true to yourself. So the most important thing about having a brand is authenticity. And then anything you're sharing on social media, always reflect back on your core values. And I think that's going to really show, who you are as a person and then your brand as well. I think it's also important to not show your life as the brand, show outside things as well, share your daily activities, share what you're doing outside of the brand, create that human connection so people can see you past the brand. And then when they see you, they automatically think of your brand as well. So that is really, really, really important. And for me, being a woman in the industry, being a woman that spearfishes, it's kind of my responsibility to show my core values in a way that's true and authentic to myself, as well as creating women, an environment for women to feel safe in the industry. There's not a lot of women that do spearfish. So I think creating community is really important, and just getting your message across that really anybody can do this if you do it the right way. And just, creating that community, an open community for women to, feel safe and also learn.
And Ione, can you share an example of how storytelling has positively impacted your brand?
Yes, so when we talk about storytelling, comes to my mind the launches of different models that we did in the last few years. But to me, especially the launch of the AS5 in 2021 was beyond special, because we wanted to transmit through a new boat the full story of Astondoa, of a family, of tradition, of culture from the north of Spain, even though we're based now in Alicante, which is in the southeast of Spain. And to do all of this, doing at the same time a tribute to my grandfather, and be able to tell our story through a boat and letting the audience to get to know Astondoa better. It's not usual in the industry, which usually stays conservative in many aspects, and of course in the communication aspect. And it was risky, but it was the way we wanted to connect with our audience and with our customers. And it turned out to be kind of a short film, but we are super proud about. And of course, it is always risk when you prepare a launch of anything that is going new to the world, but more if this industry is not used to see something like this, because we are used to see the happy family on the boat in a sunny day with the kids cheering with champagne, and it's nice and it's very practical to see the product. But if you want to connect with somebody and you want to really make the storytelling get to the point and to the hearts of the audience you want to connect with, you need to do something different. And my customers, where I used to see in the shipyard, if you have the potential to invest or to spend this amount of money in a boat, it's because normally you work your ass off to be able to get it. And that's really important for us, because we are a super passionate family and really hardworking, and that's the kind of connection that I want to make with my customers. And being able to tell our story, our more than 100 years of story, gets very emotional, not for me, but always also for the audience, who can in somehow can feel, I don't know, they can feel they are connected, but also they can find themselves in the story. So I think that's a good example of doing a storytelling at the same time we were launching a boat, and at the same time we were doing a tribute to my grandfather.
And I want to ask what strategies have been the most effective in growing your brand's social media presence? If you can give a couple of different examples, then people can take it for themselves as well. That will be amazing.
Absolutely. So I think nowadays we all know this video marketing is so important, and that really goes back to your core values and being authentic. So I think if you can, get in front of the camera and just be yourself and audience that you truly want to reach, that's the most important thing to grow your brand, especially on social media. There's so many platforms these days, it can get overwhelming to share, but just do what you're comfortable with and where you see really your best audience. So whether that's YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, everyone's a little bit different, but don't feel like you have to change your message, to be on all of these different platforms. What's, I guess, worked the best for me is sharing my videos as authentically as possible and trying to reach a smaller audience that actually cares versus trying to push it out to everybody who just, sees my brand and doesn't really resonate with it. I think creating video content right now is going to be the most impactful thing for your brand. And that goes back to not really selling your products, not hard selling your products, but really selling yourself. And I think that creates trust and relatability. Another thing that's so important with video marketing is being relatable. So just share your day-to-day things. Don't always share, just the moments where you're very successful. Share everything in between because people can really relate to that. All of these people that are at the top, they had to get there somehow. And, if they're sharing the journey kind of along the way, you feel like you can really relate to them. You can learn from their message. And that kind of resonates better with an audience. So I really think video marketing, sharing your authentic self, your best self, and just really creating the story of anybody can do this. Hop along on this journey with me, and I'm gonna take you with me. Join my community, and we can kind of grow together.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for all your insights and everything that you shared today, Summer. Thank you.
Of course, it was so great chatting with you guys, and what an incredible opportunity.
We're going to take a 2-minute break, and we will come back with our next session.
Andrew, I think you're on mute.
Oh my God, I did all that on mute. So I'll say that again. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the next one on Unpacking Leadership. We will cover leadership elements, including aligning your leadership style with personal strengths and developing emotional intelligence for greater impact. To guide us in this session, we'll welcome Barrett. Thank you, Barrett, Wright, President of Hill Robinson Yacht Management. She oversees U.S. yacht operations and business development from the company's Fort Lauderdale and Palm Beach offices. Barrett is also a member of ISS, where she co-chairs the Education Committee, as well as IYBA and USSA. Saying that second, it was easier. So,
well done. Perfectly recovered. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Kristina. Hi, Megan.
Hi, Barrett.
I think we've got Nana. She's coming in. She wasn't feeling well before, but we're delighted to have her join us. Yes. So thrilled. I think that this is, a subject that's particularly important to me. I've had to learn how to be a leader over the last, 15 years. And so it's not without some stumbles, definitely a whole lot of learning that's involved with it. And I think most importantly, learning how to deal with people. So all of the ladies here certainly have that in masses. And so I think we're going to get some very interesting feedback on where they're coming from in their different positions. So firstly, I would like to introduce Kristina Hebert, who is the third generation CEO of Wars Marine Electric in Fort Lauderdale, and soon to, I think, make a change up north. So looking forward to having you.
Thank you.
And she's got deep-rooted a legacy within the marine industry. And Kristina leads her family company to new heights, championing innovation, advocacy, while fostering a thriving workplace and culture. And I know, Kristina, you're a huge lobbyist when it comes to the USSA and great participation that you have, in Washington representing the yachting industry. So I think that's also pretty spectacular. I would also like to introduce Megan Legasse, who is the Marina Director for Tavistock Development and Pier 66 Marina. She has over 20 years of experience working her way up from dockhand to dockmaster, and now is the Marina Director. Megan currently serves on the board of directors for MIASF, AMI, and the Children's Diagnostic and Treatment Center. So welcome, Megan. We know each other very well too.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Nana Serafini is the head of sales for the Pershing and Itama brands at Freddie Group. She's a real blazer with over 30 years in the industry. Nana has helped transform Pershing from a small operation into an internationally renowned brand at the forefront of design, technology, and luxury yachting. So I'd like to say, everybody. I think we all come from very interesting perspectives. And so I think the first question, and I pose this to each of you, is how do you identify your own leadership style and how does it align with your strengths? So I have Kristina, and maybe I'm going to read, so I'll go from left to right. So Kristina, on my screen, you are there first.
Okay. So I think defining your leadership style, to comment and dovetail off the previous guest, I would say you have to obviously be true to yourself and be true to your business and know your team and know your team well. And for me, that comes very easy. Obviously, being a third generation, I've been a part of my family's business professionally for 29 years, but my whole life. And so you really get to know, I had the pleasure and the blessing of getting to study under both my grandfather and my father, and really getting to understand what their visions were for the business and continuing and carrying that forward. But again, I think the key is communication and making sure everybody understands your vision. They're never going to be able to follow. A strong leader has to show the path forward and make sure that it's easy for everyone to follow.
I think communication is huge, and I think that's where there's a lot of breakdown, and that's something else that I've had to learn, certainly and certainly improve on. So, Megan, same question to you.
I am gonna mirror what Christy just said with the communication, but also taking the opportunity to learn from everyone. I think the other really big thing is, you said it perfectly, studying, because studying people that come from different areas, come from different places. I've been really fortunate to be at I'm going to say a number of different marinas, but just because I kept saying yes, I took an opportunity when I saw it and I didn't stop. I will say some opportunities I felt were not great for myself, so I did say no. But
taking an opportunity when it's there, but also listening to others and taking from each environment that you're in. That studying is so important, because I wouldn't be where I was today if I didn't listen to the gentleman who was taking out the trash or the woman who was changing the pedestals. Just learning every step of the way. And if you stop learning, that's when you stop being a good leader.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think taking advantage of an opportunity is huge. You know, it might be terrifying, but you got to start somewhere and take that first step. And once you do, I think there's more often you don't look back. And it's only forward. So again, Nana, with you, I think that this is a very interesting question with sort of the evolution of Freddie and, again, being a very sort of Italian and a lot more male dominated kind of group, or it was previously.
Absolutely. First of all, it is a good morning for my American fellow friends here. And I am with the beautiful weather behind Megan, actually. My path, as I said, I'm starting in May, the 35th year in this company, but I feel I have been through like 10, 12 companies probably, because I went through different scenarios and different actually leadership and management styles who in some way shaped myself or helped me to shape the person I am today. When I started, I was very young. I started in May, and in September, I was celebrating my 20th birthday. So I was super green. And after my father, who was my real first mentor, and he was a pretty severe father who was teaching you the values of family and respect mainly, my other mentor was the founder of the company. The founder of the company had the feature which remained for me for the rest of my life. He wouldn't know the word impossible. There is no impossible. So by nature now, I am a never give up, let's try till the last bit of opportunity person in every aspect of my life and of my work. It's good, it's bad, I'm not sure, but that's who I am. As the colleagues of the previous panel were pointing out, we work quite often in a very male, masculine, and testosteronic world. Now, thanks God, this is shifting a bit towards a more rose, if you want, industry. But at the very beginning in 1991, I was one of 3 women in a shipyard of men. There were only men around us. And actually, my style after 15 years was defined as I have a peculiar management style, which sounded to me like I have no management style or no, let's say, conventional management style. And then I realized why. My management style is based on spontaneity. I'm pretty genuine. I don't lie, so you can read my face. Of course, maturity taught me to control myself, to gain self-control. But I would say that the environment, the changes of ownership, the different scenarios, a family company growing into a dual listed quoted company defined a bit who I am today, together with family.
Well, then I think that's really interesting, because going to the 35 years and you describe sort of the different companies, you sound like you have a very definite management style. And I'm just wondering if that has sort of evolved over time or during different situations, or as the company has transitioned. Have you found yourself adjusting to that?
Absolutely, because at the very beginning, as I said, the style was the one of a family. We were a family, and everybody would know what was happening even in the private lives of other people. When you turn then into a company of 2,000 people, 7 shipyards, a subsidiary in Fort Lauderdale, one in Hong Kong, the way even to interject with other people is profoundly different. And you have to adapt to the nature of the 2,000 people you have in front of you. I learned when I was young, everything which was happening in my daily work was a drama. I was screaming, hitting up, I couldn't control the situations. So actually, I was sent to do some training and formation to learn working in a team and not alone, to learn to take control of emotions, and to learn how to manage a stressful situation. And today I feel way more as a balanced person. No? So if when they bring me the craziest thing that can happen on my table, my answer is typically put it in the most far away corner of the desk. And the answer is, no, you have to look at this now. No, I don't have to, because my mind is not there. So if it is so bad, I need first to clear my mind, and then we tackle it. And I've seen that it works. 20 years ago, I didn't have this self-control. So my management style evolved more into a management of a group of people, even if it is a little group of people made out of area managers and sales assistants, a strong and wide dealer network, and dozens of customers. So then doc people, testing people, workers. So everybody helped me to build a better me.
So that kind of ties into the comment that Megan had mentioned, about studying people and sort of getting to know people. And, the one thing that I've had to learn is, not every person's the same. And so I think, to Megan, how can leaders develop an emotional intelligence to handle their effectiveness? You're certainly dealing with a lot of different people with construction, and the captains and, different vendors. So I'm sure that that's always, you need to be observant.
I very much so. And I think, like Nada said, I went through a series of different things, just like when you're younger, controlling the emotions and knowing too that sometimes it's okay to say nothing. Saying nothing is sometimes a better response than responding, and especially responding with your gut instinct or your knee-jerk reaction. Sometimes I still find that hard, where my face shows a lot. Sometimes saying nothing is important, and just thinking and telling people you need a moment too. As everyone may or may not know, Pier 66 has been changing dramatically over the last 5 years. And with that, the people change. And taking, I think, what everyone's been saying, core values. And as Nada and as Christy said, I grew up in a really, so I'm going to say, strong family where they tell you where you lie. And that is important to me. Like, I work with trustful people. I tell the truth. Whether it's good or bad. And to me, all feedback is good feedback, because if I can grow from it and if my team can grow from it, that's the most important thing, which is a hard thing to learn too. It's hard to get, I'm going to say, been told that I'm negative. But to me, it's not negative. Sometimes honesty hurts, but how do you adjust to it? And how do you adjust to it to be better and create a better self and a better team and a better company? Because at the end of the day, my most important thing is Pier 66 and the people who I surround myself with. So I want to make sure that we're the best and that my team's the best. And in turn, the people around you will be the best. And that goes all the way down to our customers too. We want them to feel that. We want them to be a part of that.
I agree with you. I think that's actually really interesting. Going to Kristina, you've got a family business, and I would think that that's a little bit difficult with, leadership. Some people just go ahead with assumptions about, nepotism, let's just say, and some people, you're in a very male electrician sort of dominated area. So I'm curious with the challenges you faced and how have you overcome them? If there's one particular, incident or situation that you saw you handled really well. I'm curious to hear about that.
I think the key is listening. For the most part, your employees will tell you what their challenges are. They will tell you what the challenges that they're having. They will tell you the problems that they're incurring with a customer. They will tell you if they need technology. They will tell you if they need a new computer. They will tell you. And the key is to listen, I think, and make sure that they know you're listening and make sure that their voices are being heard and that you act on it. I think you get an opportunity every day and probably 30 times a day to show yourself as a good leader. And you also get 30 to 40 to 50 times a day to fall flat on your face and make bad choices. And I think the only way a leader makes a bad choice is to not listen, not communicate, and not follow our instincts. All the three things that the panel has said. I find that good leadership isn't so hard, and I think Nada and Megan would probably agree with me. The hard part is probably for all of us is making sure that we keep our emotions in check. And I am a big believer that passion steers everything. I think that the reason our business is successful, all of our businesses, is because of that passion. And with passion, you know, there's all levels of passion. And so I don't think that you have to become a robot. But I do think it's taking a pause. It's also making sure all of us have terrible poker faces. I can tell right now, none of us should get involved in gambling. I think I've definitely served on committees with Megan, and for sure, like if we don't like something at a table, it's like, well, you know, I mean, there's absolutely no, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We bring our, we be respectful, but I think, you know, our true authentic self as leaders is voicing our opinions and making sure. But the only thing I would add to the other two would be the key is listening. And in a family business, boy, that's just as important all the time. You know, my family was amazing, and working together is amazing. You have trust, you have intuition, you have a lifetime that you've spent together, you know each other so well, but you also know exactly how to get under somebody's skin. You know exactly how to miscommunicate. So you just have to make sure that you don't do those things, you know, all of your that you would love to have done when you were a teenager. You know, you poke those buttons. You certainly don't do that in business as older. But to me, the benefits have been tremendous working with my family over any negative.
Well, I think that that's great. Passion, you know, first and foremost. And I think that helps women. You know, I also think the multitasking side of, you know, of our nature is also especially helpful. But I guess in kind of a sort of a last question to each of you is, how do you stay resilient in leadership when facing some setbacks, difficulties, you know, sometimes when things don't work out, you know, the way you had hoped they did? You know, is there anything that you rely on in order to handle that? I'll go with Kristina. We'll go back across the way.
Sure. Again, I would go back to your belief in your business. We may not get to where I think we need to go right away, but try and try again. You know, if you fall, get up again. I think we're an industry built with resilience all the time, whether it's weather, hurricanes, there are a million reasons why boating could be bad, boating could get banned, boating could be a problem. And we work with all of our clients to make sure. I know for me, even from an electric, you know, the worst thing you could do is put a bunch of electricity in water. But we work very hard all the time to make sure that that's absolutely an obstacle that we will overcome, and that it will be the best electrical system on a boat. And I think as long as you believe in yourself and your team and your business's abilities, you're going to get knocked down multiple times. Learn from it, get up, don't make the same mistake twice. And that's an opportunity for you to show leadership. That's an opportunity that you show that we can regroup, we can recommunicate, and we can refocus, but we're not giving up. We're just, for me, on our 75th anniversary, which is this year, I say that all the time on our, thank you, on our podcast, we're 75 and we're just getting started. So.
Good. Same question to you, Megan.
I wholeheartedly agree with all that. And then I think just remembering, going back to your core values, why did you get to this spot? Where did you come from? And my team knows too that sometimes if I need a moment, I just walk out on the docks. If I need to get away from my desk or I need to think about something, really walking on the docks and talking to our people in our industry and getting back to, that's why I'm here. I love boating. I love being on the water and listening to the water and just those simple things and the things that I really care about, which are normally just the little tiny things in front of your face. Just remember those things, because that will bring you back.
Excellent. And Nada.
I'm learning, you see, even today, what I learned and gave me the strength to go on, because I was not meaning to work in the industry. My working in the industry came from a necessity. My father had lost his job, so we needed to bring a salary to the family, and I accepted to stop university, or at least try to study and work to bring some money to the family. And from that moment, my motto has been never give up. Never give up is the drive of what I'm doing. Then a work became a passion for me. I was passionate of the sea, of the water, not of boats. I became passionate of boats, unfortunately, because I realized that we deliver, actually, I know it's a known sentence or inflationata sentence, but we deliver actually dreams or a different meaning to our buyers. No, a boat is not needed. I always teach to our area managers, nobody asks you to buy a boat. It's not a main priority in your life, but generally speaking, people buy boats to create memories, to escape in the middle of the sea, to clear their mind and to enjoy. So over the years, what made me go through was this passion and the acceptance that there is not only my point of view. The point of view of other people is very important, and everybody, from the gentleman who opens the gate in the morning, to the cleaner in the yard, to the guy sandpapering the tick, everybody can give you another look, another point of view. And I could move on from difficulties, as Kristina said, regrouping with my team and sharing them my weaknesses. So telling them, I have an issue, I have a problem, I'm too much inside this problem, I need to dissect it a bit. Could you look into that with me? You don't have to take responsibility, but could you at least give me your support, your point of view? Do you see something I don't see? And I've constantly been surprised. Then, of course, at the end of the day, the ladies in the previous panel who were owning companies, one of them said, at the end of the day, I listen to everybody, but I have to make a decision. And this is valid also for me, but I've been super surprised of how much collaborators and people even from other departments can give you support and good insights.
I think the takeaways from this is passion, and I think the listening, and I think the one thing too that that leaders can do is be a little bit vulnerable from time to time. There is some of the emotional bits, and sometimes you do need to take a step back and just say, there's a lot going on right now. There's almost too much. Just I need a timeout. So I really appreciate all of your insight, and I'm glad that there is a lot of consistency and that we're all very passionate about what we do. And I think this is an extraordinary industry. And I think that there is a lot more growth, for women in the times to come. So I appreciate all of your insight, and thank you very much for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Thank you all. This was really, really amazing. I think, as we say often in the sessions, we could have gone on a whole forum, obviously, on leadership. I think there's so much to learn and so much that I want to add from my experiences, but I'm going to not do that and hold myself to the time. We're going to take a 2-minute break and we'll be back with our final session. Thank you guys again.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, checking. I'm not needed, so we will start with the introduction of the next session. We're ready for our fourth and final session, where we will be discussing building your network and work-life balance. This session will focus on building meaningful relationships that align with your goals. You will explore time management strategies to balance networking with personal priorities, as well as how to leverage digital tools for efficiency in networking and expansion. The session will also address the importance of setting boundaries to maintain a healthy work-life balance and prevent burnout. To moderate this session, we welcome back Sophie Spicknell. She is the news editor at Super Yacht Times and manages the daily news desk, focusing on stories from across the yachting industry, with an emphasis on yachts over 24 meters. She is dedicated to informing and engaging readers with the latest news and in-depth features from around the world.
Hi,
Welcome,
thank
Sophie.
you very much for that introduction. Thank you. Thank you. And I've got some great guests that are joining me today, so I'll just quickly run through them for you all. I'm sure you might know some of these people already. But let's start off. We have Elise Caslini. She is the Marketing and Social Responsibility Director at IB Nautica Group. She has a strong passion for the nautical industry, and she leads strategic marketing initiatives whilst promoting sustainable and socially responsible practices.
Microphone problem?
Can everybody else hear?
Yeah,
yes.
Can you hear?
Yeah. I'll carry on with the introductions just while we try and get that sound sorted for you there. And alongside her, we have Carmen Lau. She is the Senior Advisor at Camper Nicholson Asia and the founder of S&S Stratton Limited. She has overseen yacht construction, established Philippines Asia operations, founded her own management company, and expanded Camper & Nicholson's presence in Asia. Thank you very much for joining me as well. And our final guest is Elisa Fagnetti. She is the founder and CEO of UBI EV and Partners, a firm specializing in PR, strategic consulting, and business development. The company supports family offices, entrepreneurs, and private clients in expanding their global presence and asset development. Thank you very much.
Hello, hi.
Hello.
Are we all good with the sound?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Fabulous. Okay, let's get started with the questions. So let's start by looking a little bit about strategic networking and how we can build our network. So the first question I have for you ladies is, what strategies do you use to build your professional relationships, and how do they align with your personal and business goals?
Who'll start? Elisa?
You? Okay, yes. Okay. So what strategy I use? I try to be, let's say that I normally make my network, of course, firstly on events or boat show or talking to people. And to be, let's say, after 20 years of experience, I understood that I have to be let's say, more focused on the people that I'm talking with. So my energy has to be put it in the right places. At the beginning, I was, more following my youngness, okay? And I was trying to talk to everybody and trying to reach the people that I was more interested to know or attracted to know because they were like on stage or on scene. Now I'm more like trying to feel my good, and say, okay, maybe we have to, to be open to everybody, but at the same time, stay focused on our target. To don't waste our energy in a wrong way.
Of course, yeah. And do you ladies have anything to add to that?
Well, I completely agree with that. I'm at the Italian, I'm at a shipyard right now, so we just have a 2 days of brokers event. So that's a good platform to talk to colleagues, to talk to other brokers, and just to share experience and also learn from various shipyards. But completely focus on people who share the same value with you, who has the same experience. Listen to them, and like I did before, I was always trying to talk to everybody at the same time and be everywhere. But then
you don't really get to know anybody, and it's just a quick hi and bye. So now, instead of trying to talk to everybody, I'm trying to focus to a face-to-face conversation, to actually had a nice conversation, meaningful conversation, and to be present, to put my phone away, turn it silent for now, and listen to the person in front of you.
I think that they are just muted us. I'm reading because there is a noise apparently that
No,
comes from.
you're not muted. We're just doing technical records, so we heard everything from Karen. Sorry. Move on.
Good.
I think actually, Carmen, you made a really good point there. Actually, so you were talking about how it's difficult to try and talk to everybody. So, how do you determine which connections are worth investing in and putting your energy into?
Well, like the previous speaker has said, follow your feeling, because we all has been industry for a good amount of time. We can hear, even we don't know someone, we have heard of someone, then follow your feeling to see if that person is like what the rest of the industry thinks or what your friends think. So follow your gut feeling.
I totally agree. Sorry if I interrupt. The feeling is one of the most important things that we have to keep up all the time. And for sure, for me, the present and to choose like the right place and the right moment is like the key tools to how manage our energy and choose where and when and with who. Like talk a lot, do networking, and then of course using kindness, knowledge about the market. Of course, we can like do more bondage with our networking and quality, for sure.
What I suggest, and this is funny because 1 week ago I was talking to a young audience of a new professional in yachting, and they were like 25, and they were asking me more or less the same question, no? How do I understand to who I have to talk, or now what I have to do? And I think it's something that is very important, and is Alice was also saying this, is that when you talk to someone, you have to, even if it's 30 seconds or 1 minute, you have to be very nice. Okay, so also just a big smile on your face, or for 30 seconds, put your attention on the person that you are talking with. And this maybe can be enough, because the same person, you can see him again and think it's better than just, spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes talking for nothing, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. And of course, when we're networking with people, a lot of the times we're handing out business cards. But as some of the other previous talks have spoke about, social media is becoming a lot more popular, and it's a good way to stay connected. So what digital tools or platforms have you found to be most effective for expanding your professional network?
I'm starting. Okay. I use I use in the past I was using LinkedIn. Okay. Now I'm more also on Instagram, because most of us are in Instagram, and sometimes it's even easier compared to LinkedIn. Of course, that it depends also on the, let's say, on the shade of confidentiality that you can have with the same person, with the person. And otherwise, basic WhatsApp is also very good, because at the end, WhatsApp it's going fast. And the only big problem that I had with WhatsApp, that like a few months ago, they put the reset message. So sometimes I was texting a message like, oh, Elisa Boat Show Monaco. So I was remembering the first, and then the message was disappearing. And I was like, oh my God, no, how I can remember now the person? I don't know. This is my pain, but maybe. Maybe the picture, taking the picture of the person, so at least you know that is this one, you don't mistake, or things like that. So these are little trick. But yes, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and Instagram are basically my best tools.
I use the same. I use LinkedIn, and recently I add a lot of brokers who I have not reached out to, just add them on my contact. So when I share my listing, or when I share information or receiving the information, then it's become, apart from relying on your email, which you get like 10, 20s in a day, then you share LinkedIn, the information is more quick, and you can share to a more direct group of people, and like taking pictures. Now I haven't really put that in practice majority of the time yet. So if you met a very interesting person, like have a good conversation, just take a picture, WhatsApp each other, then you remember when you meet it, you remember the moment, and then you'll have their contact. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally. Actually, I'm not a digital person and a technological person. Like my name, I'm Alice. I'm really Alice in Wonderland. So I'm really far on all these tools. But of course, we have to use it more if you work in marketing like me since ever. So actually, for me at the beginning, it was very, very useful, Facebook. I'm talking like 15, 20 years ago when I was working in Benetti Yachts, because it was like the stronger network at this moment. Then I started with LinkedIn together with Facebook. And when I decided to move from Italy to Dominican Republic to continue with my family business, I used this link like for all the people, the international people that I met during this period, and it was linked to me with Facebook. So I changed it from my name to the company name. And then I really opened like in 360 degrees all my contacts. So at this time, of course, Facebook was good. And then from Facebook, we passed it to Instagram. And of course, we stayed with LinkedIn, not Alice Caslini, but IB Nautica, because as is Alice Caslini, it's a mess. And at the end, that's worked very well, like to keep it there, that like the people can continue remember you and remember, even if you are like in a little island like us, very far, far away, but in the middle of the Caribbean, it's very useful just to keep this reminder to people that here we are. And of course, this strategic to take picture and just send a WhatsApp, that is one of the most easy things and like win-win, because I did that in Monaco and it was perfect, because at the end then you send also an email with a picture and you stay with that. It's also stronger than the others network and tools for me.
I really like that idea of taking a picture as well. As somebody that forgets faces and meets a lot of people as well, I think it's a great way to help remind you. But of course,
and also sometimes you just add a word that perfect. So for example, just an example, me and Alice, we met in September, and straight away I didn't recognize her, and she said, yeah, we spoke, and I was like, okay, yes. And then she said, yeah, I'm in the Caribbean. I said, of course, because that was the key word, so many times you have this little trick that can help you.
Yeah.
It's so true. Yeah, we were talking about this just before we came on air. But this is the problem, though, with the social media and taking pictures and things like that, and us using a lot more social media. We have to sort of set some boundaries between our work and our personal lives. So what strategies have you found successful for ensuring that your personal life remains a priority?
Listen to your body. We were in this conversation, the word listen used a lot. I think also remember to listen to your body. Listen to what your body telling you of your physical and your health situation. Because when I was the managing director of Campernicus in Asia, there was some family issues, so I have to hold my children and the family has to move back to UK. But then my main business, as a promise to the chairman, I have to stay in Asia. So pretty much 3 weeks I'm in Hong Kong, 1 week I'm trying to fly back to UK, and then 3 weeks I'm in Asia Pacific. Then for 4 or 5 years, so I realized I have constant chest pain and my arm wasn't feeling right. Actually, what I learned is it's very close to heart. So for ladies, if there is any arm issue, it's unrelated to arm, is actually you have to see a doctor. But anyway, listen to your body. Try not to say something like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm fine. I can do everything." To be true of this, we can, of course, we have the ability to, but we only have 24 hours, and we do have to look after ourselves. So listen to what your body is telling you, and listen to your friends that telling you, oh, there's a certain change that we notice. Are you okay? And probably calm down a bit and actually check in for yourself. How am I doing? Is it okay? And if it's not, then find out what happened, remove yourself from the situation, and rebuild.
Yeah. But
I like
Alice, wanna...
Actually, Carmen, this is an amazing advice because, for example, for me last year, it was a very, very strong year in between family and business and trying to keep all the things all together, which is very, very difficult to set in boundaries between that. More like in my situation, because I live in Casa de Campo, which is like a private village, just where is the marina of Casa de Campo, where my house is, so my company is, my family business is here, and the school of my daughters also are here. So it was all on the same networking, same people. So it's like impossible to set boundaries on that. Or you take a flight and you go away, and I go back like to Italy, and I keep my space, or I just try to say no to people, no to some meetings, and try to work with schedule, which is very, very difficult. But of course, it's the most important thing. Actually, last year, my body was just tired, but very tired all the time. It was just saying, okay, it's my 30s. Maybe it's that. It's just I arrived at, but it's not. It was not that. It was just that it was not setting boundaries in my life. So it's very, very important and difficult because sometimes you want to do all the things and be with everybody. Everybody, I mean, not all the clients, but everybody, with your kids, with your business, and at the end it will be impossible, and the quality of your work will not be the best one. For sure. And also the quality of your life with your family also, no?
I mean, I think I can explain by my look that I deal not in a very good way the stress. But I think that Carmen and Alice, they said, of course, something that as a woman, we are always facing. So basically the fact that we want to be perfect in all our side of the life. Okay, so we are mothers, so we have to be perfect mother and present for our children. We are professionals, so we want to be on top of what we are doing. If we are maybe entrepreneurs, even more, because we want to reach the target, reach the goal that we ourselves put on our top list. So yeah, in which way we set the boundaries. I was in Dubai, living in a city of millions of people, and I've moved back to Italy in my village where we are 10,000 people. And in 3 years in Dubai, I went to pick up my daughter 5 times at school. Yes, and my daughter was spending a lot of time with the nanny, so I perfectly understand what Carmen was saying. I was moving 3 weeks there, 1 week there, and I was painting here because I think that at a certain point of life, you need to listen yourself and say, okay, what I want is running. So the setting boundaries is really thinking about the time that we have, because we have one life and that's it. So we have really to take care about that this is more important of having a richful and a successful, maybe business life, you know? So this is the boundaries. And on the social media, that was probably your original also question. What I do personally, I have one profile that is my personal profile, because basically my company is me and is based on me and what the people believe on me. So yes, sometimes I share some personal info, and I think is also part of this.
I think you touched on it a little bit there as well. And we had a comment pop up earlier from Mealy as well, which said about having a blank back of your business card so that you can write the names down of people to remember. So I think for the final question, do you have any tips or tricks, whether that's for remembering faces or for time management or for building your network? What tips would you give to anybody that's listening today?
I'm going to keep my mouth shut in that, because I'm really bad in remembering faces and put a name together. So I'm here to learn. Please tell me something.
Me too. Me too.
My suggestion is that this is actually what I do for remembering the people, is that you have to be curious about the others.
Yep.
If you're curious about the others, so when you talk to them, you of course remember something about them. So you remember what are they, maybe specificity, or what they do for work, or what. There is always something that stays in your mind. So this is the most important things that you need to keep as a, as a little treasure, that this will help you in the future, even after maybe some years that you don't meet them, and then you'll say, oh yes, I remember. Oh, how is it going? That can be professional, personal, sport, anything.
Totally, Elisa. And also you have like to live the moment when you are talking with the person, like to really be there. Because many people, they just talk, but they are thinking about other things, or they're thinking where they have to go after to another meeting. So at the end, they are not focused on the person. So for sure, you will remember, as Elisa said, if you ask, if you really connect with something more. And about the time management, actually for me, it's very hard. I don't have a really good management, but I try to have like many agendas. As I said, I'm not a digital person, so I have like a schedule on my fridge, which is like the family schedule. Then I have another one like private. Then I have the office one with the board, etc. And I try to cross all these agendas. If I can cross all these agendas, I will know that just one Alice will do all these things. Because if you think that you have an Alice at home, an Alice at work, and Alice with them's life, will be impossible. So I try to cross and like to make my month by month a good schedule. So with that, I can have a good time management.
I love that.
You one thing at a time.
You one thing at a time. Like 1 minute after other minutes, and using like every little space in the day. Even when I'm driving, go to school, I still working, and then I stop, and then I start with my kids' time.
I think that's the perfect thing to end on as well, time as well, because we are out of time. But thank you very much, ladies, for joining me. And thank you for your comments.
Andrea, you keep the 2 Italians and Carmen at the end. So we have really short time. We couldn't go longer,
Yeah, for that, she knew it. At the end for that.
No, I thought it was a great way to wrap up the forum. I think we all struggle with maybe time management. Francesca, so happy that you made it as well.
Yeah, I was here next to Carmen.
Yeah, I like this one at a time, or if not, you end up doing everything. I feel I'm always doing everything, even if I use all the AI tools out there. Somehow I do it, sometimes I have no time. Sorry, Francesca, I interrupted you.
No, I've been here next to Carmen because we've been 2 days to working together, and so I please stay next to her, listening all the forum, and I'm so proud of all of you girls that speak now and the other that spoke before. And we have to remind that today it's a women's celebration, but our day is every day. Because we are more capable of doing things as much as we think. So sometimes we need to put our brain aside to sleep and just be brave and braver, on doing things, because we are doing everything so good, but we never recognize it to us. So let's be proud of ourselves, not only today for the Women's Day, but every day. And thank you to all the ladies that attend the forum, and mostly thanks also, Andrea, that you are the super specialist on
organizing everything.
Media.
Well, I try, but thank you everyone for attending. And as Francesca said, we did do this to celebrate International Women's Day. So with that, I hope that you guys have something great to celebrate on the 8th, and I will continue on to thank our sponsors. So, hi and thanks. So that was, I think, an amazing forum. I am super inspired with everyone's conversations today, but I want to thank all our esteemed speakers and moderators for sharing your valuable insights, and to all of you for being part of our third online forum of 2025. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for joining us and celebrating this International Women's Day. I hope the discussions on entrepreneurship, leadership, and professional growth were both inspiring and valuable to you. I want to do a special thanks to our sponsors and our supporters whose generosity made today possible. Layla Merchant from the American Dream TV, Con Cruise, FTI Yacht Group, Moore Dixon, Oshianko, The Crew Coach, and Yacht Mermaids. If you miss any sessions, don't worry, the replays will be available soon on YouTube. I'll send the link to all our registrants, but you can also find it on Yacht Femme website. Just give me at least 24 hours. Our next and final forum is in June, where we will be discussing luxury marketing. We will have 4 sessions discussing influencer marketing in the economic landscape. Let's talk money, the influence of AI tools in our marketing strategies, AI tools, CGI, and beyond, expanding on branding and learning how to build on maintaining momentum. So we will continue talking about branding because it's so important for all of us. And we will close with an informal informational session on mistakes and tips, 3 dangerous mistakes marketers make in today's consumers. Thank you again. We look forward to seeing you at our next Yacht Femme event as we continue to empower women in the yachting industry. Also, we have the Palm Beach coming up soon, so please let me know, reach out, DM, email, however you can flag me down if you will be there, because I would love to meet you. Thank you again, and we hope to see you soon.